And that 117 is the shortest part of the Bible, and 119 is the longest of the Bible. 118 is the middle of the Bible.
Well, that's one middle.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that's one middle.
Oh, wow. It's a conspiracy. That's okay.
It's not a conspiracy, Tony.
No, not. There are multiple middles.
Which are the other middles then off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head. So if you look at the enlarged and lowercase, the letters
Yes.
and numbers is the middle of that, which is very interesting. You're into the enlarged letters and lowercase letters, go check it out. Very interesting.
You mean like where the backward noons are? That makes it the middle?
Of the Torah.
Where did you get that? You find it one day and you send it to me.
But you also, but that's of the Torah. There. What about the middle of Tanakh?
I understand.
The middle of the prophets, the middle of the writings. There are multiple middles.
Yeah.
There's not one middle. And then what you just said, that's the middle of the English translation of the Bible.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
Is it like one of the middles supposed to be like his name?
okay.
The,
So,
his memory be shortened or something like that?
we just did the first Aliyah out of 7. So, the rain comes. We're in chapter 7. Again, here we got some ancient gematria. 40 is of great significance. 40 days and 40 nights. Look at 7 and 4. And for 7 days, I will call it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And every living substance that I've made may be, will I blot out from the face of the earth. From the face of the earth. Okay? Going back to Genesis. The ground, where does the ground come from? Oh, yes. Where does the ground come from?
Adama?
It comes from out of the water.
So I swallowed it back up, that's what you're saying.
I'm saying that if we believe in a worldwide flood, then we're back to Genesis 1.
Yeah, another baptism.
If the world flooded, the entire world flooded, that means the world was a water world.
Yeah,
Once again,
sure.
that doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Because how is it that the land that Moses talks about, the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, the gold from the Euphrates, would not the flood have destroyed the Euphrates?
Yeah. But it came back after all the land shifted.
So you think?
Yes, I would think.
Okay, yes.
No, because isn't the Euphrates connected to the tree of life?
And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is they mentioned four rivers that went to the Garden of Eden, that proceeded from the Garden of Eden. 2 of, we know, the Euphrates
Tigris.
and the Tigris.
Sure.
That makes no sense, because that's post-flood. How can you identify something post-flood, something pre-flood, by something that's post-flood?
You think it moved?
You got water jutting through ground, and you got water coming down from ground. You think it's going to stay the same?
No.
It's going to shift.
Yep.
So it shifted. But, how far? 10 kilometers or 10 miles?
If you're talking about the complete destruction of ground, then you have to have a new ground once it dries. Go to your front yard and water it, and see if it don't completely change. The
But
dirt.
it's not destroyed, it's displaced.
Exactly, that's my point. How
That's
can
not
you
what you
say that?
said.
Yes, it is. How is the garden identified by something post-flood? It would have moved.
Latin laws don't change.
You understand what I'm saying?
Latin laws don't change.
It does change.
Latin laws do not change.
Whatever that.
They don't.
You don't understand the devastation of this flood.
I do understand.
No.
But you know, I'm saying geography will always be the same place. Magnetic north will always be
No, it
magnetic
doesn't.
north.
It changes.
Well, it moves a little bit, fine. But I'm just saying, the Latin laws, the grid system, whatever, will always be the same place.
Again, Daniel, you are using modern stuff.
Sure I am.
It wasn't that way back then.
It wasn't that way.
Changes,
It changes.
does change.
Now, you can counter argue and said that the world wasn't flooded, and that it was the known world that was flooded.
What's the norm?
What marine creatures survived the flood? I heard, even giants.
There you go again.
Oh, here you go again, talking about your
It's a theory, it's not a conspiracy, it's my theory.
No, well, we're
It's not a
done.
conspiracy theory.
Okay?
You've been reading
My
from the
point
alphabet
is,
book.
my point is that over in the
That's what happens.
Over
when
in the
we
New Testament, it calls Yeshua the second and last Adam. Where did they get that concept?
Where did you say?
Over in the New Testament,
Uh-huh.
it calls Yeshua the second and last Adam.
Uh-huh.
There's one problem with that. Our earliest manuscripts of that text does not have that verse.
Really?
It's built, it's penned in later.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
So,
Really?
Again,
when they penned it in, where did they get the idea of a second Adam? Because if Noah is now the father of all living, would he not be the second Adam?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
not necessarily.
Yes.
All life came from him.
No.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily make him the second Adam, because he was existed
Wait a minute,
prior to
Daniel.
the flood.
You can't have this both ways. You can't have a world flooded in water, one man, and everything proceeds from him, and he's not mankind. He is mankind.
But he existed.
That's why the rabbis has wrote what is called the Noahitic laws, saying that that's how the Gentiles come in.
Come on. Good evening. How many laws are there coming? How many are the Noah?
7.
7 laws.
7 by rabbinics. In Scripture, there's only 5.
Well, who? I'm
So which were the other 2 that they added? Or
I don't remember. I had to go and look at it.
And then,
look it up in your conspiracy manual.
Okay?
Let's see. Yeah, it should be there.
So,
somewhere.
it tells us in Genesis 7:7, and Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and the fowls and everything that creepeth upon the ground. So now notice here also we're talking about ground animals and air animals. Again, if we look in the Hebrew of creation, it is like God created these things from the place that they reside in. Birds are very unique because they travel in air, yet they live on ground.
And what's the homing mechanism of the animal? It's based on the magnetic system of the earth, you know that, right? So there's that grid system that exists, whether we want to admit to it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
variation of it.
Yeah.
So,
But again, the way that looks in Hebrew is that the birds are spoken to out of the air.
spoken to as they just all of a sudden came out of the air. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
like they were formed out of the air.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
It does.
Yes.
But it's very unique because it's the only animal that resides in two places. The air and the ground.
But then there was no air.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, there was.
Inside Noah's Ark?
No, we're
No,
talking
I
about
mean, then the
creation.
ark is
Babe,
not-
babe,
there's no-
we're talking about creation. And yes, there was air in the ark, or otherwise everybody
No,
would have died.
no, what I mean is outside of the ark.
Of course there was air.
It was just water.
No.
No. If there was, no, babe, it's
From the
not like.
top to the bottom, it just got full.
If you look at the creation, it says that the firmament.
I knew that word was coming. Okay, all right, here goes the baptism. Here it goes. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Say it,
I want to
say
see
it.
it.
The
I want to see it.
The firmament is a word that we don't know what it is.
I'm not even gonna start.
We assume that it is the sky and the air.
I'm
That's
gonna
what
leave it
we assume
alone.
it
Thank
is.
you.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
We assume that that's what it is because it says that the firmament.
What verse
formed
is that in? Let's look it up in the Hebrew.
it forms.
Modern language, it's called the ozone
What verse is
layer.
the
But it's
Hebrew?
not the ozone layer.
Let's go to the Hebrew.
Okay.
I want to see that one again. Let's talk about in this room.
1:14.
Genesis
Just
1:14.
No, wait a minute. No, that's not.
15, well, 14 and 15 is here.
Firmament. Okay.
No, 6.
Yeah, 15 has firmament.
No, 1:6. And God said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
Waters above, waters below.
Mhm.
True statement. Does a permanent also?
This is how you can flood the earth easily.
Okay, there's the rakia.
If there's water coming from above, water from below, it's easy to flood the entire world.
Oh, easy.
So you're talking about rakia is the word.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that the same one all across the board?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
What else does a permanent say, what it is?
It never says what it is.
The permanent, no? Doesn't
It
say-
just says that it splits the water.
Yeah,
The water from above from the water below.
not a dome.
That is what some people teach it as.
Yeah, permanent.
Here's rakia again. And
Yeah.
You said verse 6.
Yeah, it's going to repeat over and over and over again.
Well, I'm gonna look at it again.
Okay, go ahead and look at it.
Okay.
So meanwhile, the rest of us, while Daniel's in Genesis, let's go back.
Rakia. Yeah, you're in Genesis too if you're in
I'm going
Noah.
back to, no, you're in Bereshit. I'm going back to Noah.
Oh, okay.
In Genesis.
Okay?
Actually, it's in better sheet.
Noah's in Bereshit too, so, but anyway.
Right.
You're in partial Bereshit. Okay, 7:7. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons with him into the ark because of the flood waters. The clean beast, we already talked about that. From here, we begin to see the flood and all that they did.
Remember that word rakia.
Okay?
Remember rakia.
So, hold on just a second. Let's look at, I'm just cherry picking verses now at this point, guys. Go to 9 and 1.
9?
9 and 1. This relates to what Rabbi was saying. 9 and 1. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and he said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. He said it to who?
His sons.
No, he did not.
Wait, to Noah and his sons.
To Noah and his sons. Be fruitful and multiply. So Noah was to have other sons.
And he
Oh,
didn't.
and this is where that.
That's what Rabbi was saying. You
That
never
comment.
see Noah have other sons.
Oh.
didn't have any more sons.
Yeah, Yeah, it's kind of hard when your son is cut your stuff.
Oh,
Just saying.
I see that.
Okay?
Oh.
Now, look at 2. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall come upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, and upon wherewith the ground teemeth, and upon all the fish of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. So here, the fish wasn't mentioned before, but here the fish are. Okay? The thing that's interesting is that with Adam, in the Hebrew, when it says there is a rhythm to the Hebrew, that when man is told to multiply, it is connected to fish.
Or a noon.
Fish.
Dagim.
Because when fish multiply, do they produce 1, 2, 3, 4? Hundreds. That was Adam's command. To produce. No, Adam's. Adam's original command was to produce like fish. Not like birds, not like cows, not like today. Okay?
So did the pregnant women have like 8 children, 10 children?
That's what the rabbis say. They said that they had multiple
Yeah.
births. Yeah.
The Egyptian women were like that.
9 and 3. Every morning, every moving thing that liveth shall be food for you. As the green herb have I given you all. All flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. So here is where the Noahic laws come in at. This is the covenant that he cut with Noah and all mankind. You can eat the flesh of animals, but you cannot eat its blood. Blood is rejected. Okay? And surely your blood for your lives will I require at the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, even the hand of every man against brother, I will require life for life. So we have here corporal punishment. You kill a man, your life is taken. That's the second Noahic law. Whoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man. All mankind is created in the image of God. What separates mankind from all of creation?
Speech.
We are in the image of God. That's it. I don't care if science talks about opposing thumbs and using tools or whatever other theory. Right here, we are created in the image of God. That's what separates us. And you shall be fruitful and multiply. Swarm in the earth and multiply therein. So again, we have the connection to production as fish. And God spoke, 9 and 8, and God spoke unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, As for me, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the fowl, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, of all that go out of the ark, even every beast of the earth. So, is God concerned about animals?
No.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I meant yes.
Because man's covenant is also with the animals.
Yeah, according to
Okay, see, okay, what is that, but why?
Because God is concerned about all life.
Okay, okay.
All life.
So, but if, so an animal can be a bad animal? Does it have to
No,
be?
the way you treat your animal, measure for measure. You don't feed your dog, you don't get fed.
Yeah, okay.
I know that was directed at me.
Okay? Don't give your dog water, you don't get water. Anywho. Towards our daughter.
I'm not gonna feed him.
And God said, this is the token of the covenant which I made between me and you and every living creature. So the rainbow is not just for man. It's for every living creature.
Why so? But we still have those.
Okay? Every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. Every generation thereafter, this covenant. To this generation, the Noach covenant still stands. So, the Torah teaches us of two covenants. The covenant with man and the covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, is there that covenant though? This one, if you study it, you'll see it includes this one. Because Jews are not supposed to eat blood. They're supposed to take care of their animals. You see? So, is it two covenants or one? There's one covenant. Right, Rabbi? One covenant. For all man. But that second covenant comes through Israel, to whom we have to... I was just having this conversation with a Christian woman. I was just having this conversation. And she asked me, she said, I told her, I said, was Yeshua Jewish? Yes. Did he practice Judaism?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so if he practiced Judaism, why do you think he was a Christian?
Well, what? They say that, yeah, I.
Okay, so why do you think he was a Christian? Exactly. So, if you actually study what he says, not what Paul says, not what John says, but what he said he came from the lost house of Israel.
For the lost house.
For the lost house of Israel. And that thing that we call the Great Commission, he told his disciples to go to the uttermost parts of the world for the Jews.
Pretty much.
Go for the Jews. He told them, don't go to the Gentiles. I told her that, and she was like, what? It's like, yeah, that Great Commission you're preaching, it was to the Jews, not to the Gentiles.
Where's that in-
So then she said,
Mark.
well, what about us? And I said, oh, that's easy. Your responsibility is to find a Jew to learn from. And she looked at me and said, that's why I got you.
Are you lying, or was that her real answer?
No, that was her real answer.
Why? Because she's not here.
Well, she's not here.
She's at her church right now.
So
Still working on it.
she lied again.
Yeah, well, still working on it.
That's our job. to bring
Okay?
it
So, the thing is we've got to understand that this, where we are in our Torah portion, he's dealing with mankind. But it's going to shrink down. And ultimately, it's going to become the job of the Jew.
in. Bring them in.
Okay? No, it's not.
No.
That's your Christian calling.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, it's not.
That's not our job. They're supposed to come to
Our
us.
job as Jews is to teach the world.
Well, how do we teach the world? We don't bring
That,
them in.
listen, stop talking and listen.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Our job is to teach and train. It's not our job to go out and cause them to come to us.
Okay.
They have to humble themselves and realize the true carrier of the message is the Jew.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth of the matter. How do you win souls? When the Bible says, when God said, all souls are mine. How do you win souls? That don't make no sense. It's a distraction. You can't win something for God that belongs to Him. And for those that think that a man can sell his soul to a devil, you crazy too. Your soul belongs to God. You can't sell something that's not yours.
Yeah, right.
Don't make no sense. Cut your hand and swear an oath all you want. Your soul belongs to God. Okay? This is truth, guys. We got to renew our mind to what the scriptures are really saying. Where in the garden did the serpent resist God? He didn't. No, he didn't resist. He did exactly what God wanted him to do. So get this out of your mind that you're being tormented by something. You're being tormented by your loss of peace. And joy. Where does your strength come? Nehemiah.
The joy of the Lord.
The joy. If you can't find joy in God, guys, something's wrong in terms of you, and you got to fix it.
It's a hell of a freaking instruction, if you will.
Yeah,
How do you
it is.
fix something you can't touch?
By His Word, conforming to His Word.
Kind of quiet now, guys. Gather our attention span.
You want to know about the end times? This is the end times. We are told that knowledge will increase, that deception will be strong,
Yeah.
and that even the very elite, if God doesn't shorten the days, the very elite will be deceived. How is it that everybody says it seems like time is going faster?
Yeah.
He's cutting time short for the elite's sake. We are not in an information age. We are in the age of deception.
Yeah, got that right.
That's what we're in. And if you're not careful, it's easy to be deceived. I looked up the word belief today, the English word, before Daniel starts asking me, did you do it in Hebrew? Yes, I did. Anyway, I looked up the English word belief, and it was interesting because belief means conviction of opinion.
Really? Is that how simple, skewed the word is? Unbelievable.
Conviction of opinion. So believe whatever you want. It doesn't make it true.
That's right.
You can believe God is a one-eyed flying purple people eater. Doesn't mean that He is. Okay? Don't mean that He is. Doesn't change His nature what you believe. The truth. In fact, that Christian lady said, all I want to do is know God. I want to understand God. And I was like, you serve a small God. If you can understand Him, He's small.
Yeah, right.
She backed off of that real quick. Well, I don't think I can really understand. So why did you say that? I just want to know God. Guys, He didn't ask you to know Him.
Boy, that's true too, right?
Show me in Scripture where he says, know me. He said, know my ways. Know my ways. You may not agree with them, but you better know them. Know my ways. Not know me. There is no way we should be able to understand God. So, get used to not having answers to your questions. God's too big. I just want answers. Well, just keep pressing in. Because God says that those who will seek them with his whole heart shall find him. But he doesn't tell you when.
Boy, that's true too.
He doesn't say when you'll find him. He just says you will find him.
Just look inside
Inside of what?
yourself.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
I just told you your heart is wicked, man, and now you want him to live in there? Come on.
Dude. That must be conspiracy theory book 3, right?
The kingdom of
Look.
God is within you.
Look. 9 and 16. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. This is God speaking. This has always tripped me up. Why does God need a bow to remind him of his covenant with mankind?